Yo! What it do? What it do? Hard pass back in the building after some internet problems for Rim Breezy. What's going on, Remy? How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm back. I'm back in the land of the living. I have internet. I'm connected to the world. It's amazing.
Bro.
Six and a half hours without internet yesterday.
That's crazy. What do you do? What did you
I
want to do?
I had to dust off the DVD player.
No.
Yeah, we had to watch
DVDs.
Physical discs. And an actual DVD too. Not even a Blu-ray, dude. We threw a DVD copy of Reno 911 Miami in the DVD player.
That's an interesting choice.
It was
great movie.
It's a funny movie. It wasn't my choice, but it was funny. Very funny.
Dude, that's one day we need to do a list of that. If you have to watch DVDs,
I mean,
and what would your top 5 be?
I mean, I'm not saying that it can't be done,
but
add it to the list. 5, cut down to 5 on that.
Put it on the board.
Be
so
tough.
We have so much to talk about. We were going to have a jam-packed episode yesterday for you guys. But like I said, internet issues, whatever. Caleb says CSI hands down. What's going on, Caleb?
Yeah.
We had a couple things. Well, Remy's mic's not as loud, so that's step number 1. We have dialed him in. We're dialing it up today. My girl Paige. Oh no, torn ACL.
Torn ACL out for the season, dude.
Damn, dude. Every time I put Wes up on the screen,
that picture
every time.
Every time,
dude. So it's training camp season.
It is training camp season,
and I don't know if you saw today that Sam Darnold is playing with the 4s. He might get cut. He might get cut. Sam Darnold he's in danger of getting cut because he's getting outplayed by a rookie and the other kid, Walker kid. Of course, Baker Mayfield's
no way.
Yeah, he's getting out.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's the report I got today. So
you know what? That's not surprising because honestly, that's where I put him. I put him behind Matt Corral and PJ Walker.
We're gonna get the Dolphins here in a second. What's going on, AJ? Appreciate
AJ Phillips in the building.
The man, the myth,
dude.
One of the bigger Steeler fans out there, AJ. We do have football tomorrow, so we're gonna talk some football, and I'm not gonna let you jump straight in the Dolphins. We're gonna leave that one until midway. But what we are gonna talk about is we're gonna talk some NFL. And we're going to talk some Deshaun Watson to start. So Deshaun Watson, as everybody knows, got a very light suspension, 6 games. The NFL agreed to not to the NFLPA of some weird shit going on where they told him not to request an appeal.
I read about all of this. So the NFL is going to appeal it.
Yeah.
That came out today. The NFL is going to appeal it. So the NFL was pushing the entire time. They wanted at a minimum 1-year suspension with an $8 million fine. That was the NFL stance and what they wanted to do. The NFLPA, for those of you who do not know, the NFL Players Association is a literal just bag of garbage.
Yes.
The NFLPA was pushing for a 0-game suspension with 0 fine for a man who has been accused of 25 plus sexual assault cases.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the NFL refused. They got into talks and they tried to hammer out a deal. The NFL was willing to come down to a 12-game suspension, but the NFLPA still said no. They wanted a 0-game suspension. So it went through the whole legal process. Now, of course, like I said, the NFL can't, either side could appeal it. So the NFL can appeal and ask for more. The NFLPA can appeal and ask for less. The NFLPA said they will not appeal on the 6-game suspension, but the NFL has decided to appeal it to try and get a longer suspension out of Deshaun Watson. Now, the NFLPA has in turn said that they are going to sue the NFL for appealing.
Go to federal court. Yes.
Yeah, they're going to take it to federal court because the NFL is going to appeal the ruling and try to push the suspension out longer. Now, and I'll get into your take on this, but the whole thing with this for me, you can look at the legal side of it, you can whatever, the lack of evidence, whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, he's not on trial to go to jail. We're not talking about a trial to send him to prison. What we're talking about is the NFL's personal conduct policy. No matter what, something's off here. The dude, whether he is a serial rapist, whether he is just a dude who likes to get touched, whatever it is, something's off. Most NFL players, they work with 2-3 masseuses throughout their entire careers. I think the NFL determined he had like 60-something masseuses in a year. In 1 year, he had over 60-something masseuses. So something's off there. I don't care what the legal side of it is. So this is the personal conduct policy of the NFL. If you read through the judgments that the judge who laid the 6-game suspension out on, if you actually read through what she says,
she says he did do these things.
He did these things. So it's more than likely that he did than he didn't. Okay, so it's not 100% he did, 100% he didn't. It's more than likely he did versus he didn't. And if you read through all the little bullet points, she basically says, listen, more than likely you did do this. More than likely you did, pull out your, junk. You tried to get these girls to do these things for you. So the evidence all points to, okay, yes, he did do all of these things in her eyes, but then you come out and you give him a 6-game suspension and no fine, 0 fine. Something's not right.
Something's weird. It's very strange. I think, classic NFL where they originally do something very poorly and then they're like, shit, we need to backtrack this. Public perception of this is terrible. This guy needs to be suspended for at least a year. And everybody, in like a year would be a thing. Would come out a year, everyone's like, you know what? All this shit happened. A year seems okay. If you're going to let him play football again in the NFL, a year, whatever. The Browns, they get what you get. You get what you get when you traded for him. So, but 6 games. The thing is, this is going to drag on forever. He's going to play football after the 6 games this year. That's going to happen. This will drag on until forever. It's Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Allison, Deshaun Watson. We've already been dealing with this for 2 years, which is just insane. And when I saw 6 games, I was just like, man, that is it. That's crazy, dude.
Bro, I mean, you know what? Though? Who knows if he can even play ball anymore?
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm sure the talent's still there, and I've talked until I'm blue in the face about Deshaun Watson with all the stuff, with the rumors of him going to Miami and everything. Like, the talent's there. I'm not questioning that. Can he win? Can he win big games? We don't know. I mean, at the NFL level, we've never seen him do it. So
yeah, just Google him, Allison, and you'll find out all the shit he did.
It's just crazy. Like 6 games after all of this stuff has come out.
Yeah, I mean, how many cases was it again?
25 or 26 different cases. And I'm just, dude, like I said, at the end of the day, the dude's a creep, no matter what. Dude's a creep. I mean, so, man, and no fine, 0 fine, not going to cost him any money.
Who knows what's going to happen about it?
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and there's probably some people, if they're out there listening, that remember. You remember when Roger Goodell was judge, jury, and executioner, and how pissed off people were all the time?
I know.
Every time he suspended somebody, and it was like, oh, it's unfair. Roger Goodell shouldn't have that power. And now we're sitting here, and now he doesn't have that power.
And now everybody's like,
now look what happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
listen, I hate Roger Goodell, but how are we outsourcing punishment? Like, what are we?
Yeah.
It's so weird. It's very strange to me.
It doesn't make any sense to me. And then, like, and the NFL has their, their weird, like, Calvin Ridley got a year. Used to be if you smoked weed 4 times, you got a year.
He was a Clemson fan? Hold on a second. Whoa. Allison, you're out of here. Boom.
See ya.
You're out of here, Allison. I'm gonna tell Michael.
The 1 year.
I'm gonna tell you. If I told your dad, he would not be happy. You were a Clemson fan.
Oof. Tough. Come on. But yeah, like the weird. And I get it. Listen, the Calvin Ridley for a year thing. I don't have as big of an issue with that. The NFL clearly has made it known you cannot bet on NFL games. But also you shouldn't be able to sexually assault women. So you should also throw the book at that guy. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's strange. And here we are, football's ramping up, and this is what we have to talk about. So
still.
Speaking of stuff that is not football related, which we're going to get the football related stuff, injuries, and we're going to kind of break down a couple teams here that plays tomorrow night, and give you kind of our synopsis on where they're headed this year. Rim Breezy. So there was a giant report that came out about the Dolphins, and it was breaking news. The Dolphins lose this coming up year's first and then next year's third. Is that right?
Yes.
It just said for what, tampering or something?
So was the original? The punishment is for tampering.
Right.
The punishment is for tampering. And according to the statement, it is tampering on an unprecedented level of tampering. Mm-hmm. Now, here's my argument. What kind of unprecedented tampering are you doing to where you don't even get either guy that you were tampering with? What kind of unprecedented tampering are we talking about? Neither guy's on the team. If any of you don't know, the tampering charges go for Miami Dolphins trying to lure in Tom Brady once when he was still with the Patriots, and 2 times here while he's been with the Tampa Bay.
So that's 3 separate times you're trying to get
3 separate times. And Sean Payton this last offseason trying to pull him away from the Saints. So the NFL has said that
trying to team him up with Tom Brady.
Yeah, trying to team up Tom Brady and Sean Payton. So the team has been accused and charged with tampering to an unprecedented level and has been taken a 1st-round draft pick and a 3rd-round draft pick away from them, and neither guy is a Dolphin. Neither Tom Brady nor Sean Payton ended up in Miami.
Well, that's because your owner's just a bad salesman.
There's so much I want to talk about with this, dude. There's so much I want to say. So Stephen Ross took over the Miami Dolphins in 2009, Terry. Mm-hmm. I want you to think about, since 2009, all of the dumb shit this organization has been involved in. 2009, when he took over, I think it was 2009 or 2010 was the year. Tony Sparano was still a head coach, and we flirted with Jim Harbaugh. You remember that the first time around? Yep. Where it was Jim Harbaugh was going to come be the Dolphins head coach because he's a Michigan guy and Stephen Ross is a Michigan guy, and we did all that flirting and everything like that, and it just never ended up coming to fruition. Mm-hmm. Now, we have also had the Bullygate scandal. The Richie Incognito.
Never can forget
Jonathan
that one.
Martin. That happened since Stephen Ross has taken over. Mm-hmm. We had the assistant coach who was pictured snorting cocaine on his desk in the office that leaked, and also happened during the Stephen Ross era. We changed to this dumbass logo I have on my forehead in the Stephen Ross era. We had the tanking allegations, which I'm going to touch base on a little bit more. Mm-hmm. We had another round of flirtations with Jim Harbaugh. tanked away an entire season to go 5 wins, which was miraculous, or however many it was, get the number 5 overall pick, take one of the most hyped quarterback prospects in recent memory, and then turn around and only try to get another quarterback since we drafted him. Now we're in this tampering investigation.
Sabotaging, saying that it was an owner's draft, not the coach's draft, right? If I recall right. The coach didn't want him.
And what this all that shit, Stephen Ross was coming out and saying, oh, it was Flores that didn't want to, we've been behind him the whole time.
Right.
Clearly bullshit. Clearly, if the team is now in trouble for tampering with Tom Brady, you were in on this.
Yeah.
Like, you clearly were a part of this. He has now been suspended for 2 months and fined chunk change for him, but it's $2 million fine or whatever it is.
Right.
So add that on top. Of course, there was the lawsuit with Brian Flores, who is suing the team for making them tank, allegedly, and the whole like firing him over, the race thing and everything. Yeah, my Roomba just started making noise.
Yeah, your Roomba's going wild.
I mean, think about that, though. That's in less than, that's 12 years. We've been involved in all of those scandals. All the meantime, we've made the playoffs one time. One time we've made the playoffs.
Some would say one of the worst owners in the league.
What are we doing?
As Caleb says, how does he still own the team?
I mean, it's insane. And the craziest part is, like, the guy that they're saying was doing most of the tampering is the guy. He's the owner in wait. It's like, so it's just going to move right on to the next guy. It's insane to me. You want to punish us? Make Stephen Ross sell the team. Make him sell the team. This is embarrassing, dude. And it's exactly what I expect from this organization. Ever since we started doing this podcast, I've screamed into this microphone so many times how dog shit our team is run as an organization. It's insane. It's constant nonsense with this team. Nonstop, dude. We flirted with Deshaun Watson for a year and a half.
Yep.
We've clearly been courting Tom Brady for 3 years now.
Yep.
And it's nuts. It's absolute bonkers. Dude, okay. Now, do I actually think the punishment was 100% for the tampering? No. I think the punishment comes down somewhat to the tanking allegation, which the NFL said there was no evidence of tanking. If you were a Miami Dolphins fan a couple of years ago,
right,
it was blatantly obvious we were tanking. We traded away every player that had talent.
Yep.
Anyone we could trade for a draft pick, we traded them. Clearly, we were tanking. Now, Brian Flores, of course, did a fantastic job as a head coach, won us a couple football games. Ryan Fitzpatrick did his thing, won a couple of games, ended up not with the first pick because clearly, even when Miami tries to be bad, they can't be bad enough to be the worst. Comes through and I think that the tanking thing is really what the NFL is like. Hey, we can't say you were tanking because that'll make us look bad.
Right. But clearly
the punishment.
Right. It all kind of ties in together. It's like a 3-for-1 kind of deal.
Yeah.
I mean, when you lose a first-round draft pick, that is...
First-round pick.
That's crazy.
Now, I have a question for you. Do you think if it wasn't Tom Brady that they would have taken a first-round pick? If this was some strong safety...
No, I mean,
that
clearly
we tampered
not.
With.
But I think it's probably the quarterback position. Say, who's another free agent quarterback that, so who's the third best quarterback in the league? I don't know. Maybe you're trying to get Russell Wilson. And you tried 3 or 4 times like you did with Tom Brady. You probably still get the big suspension. You probably still get the hefty fine. I definitely think Tom Brady is, makes it worse. Well, also, Tom Brady didn't go to you guys. So
still, that's the thing, dude. Like, we tampered. We do deserve to be punished. I'm not saying that we don't deserve to be punished. But at the end of the day, neither guy is here. If we had gotten both of them and all of a sudden we're out there just dominating the league, well, yeah, we tampered. You get punished. Neither guy's on the team. Like, the punishment is so absurd.
It's like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's like the most cowardly thing in the world. It's like, for me, and this is a very light version of what it would be for me, but it's 1,000 times worse for you. It's like if the Panthers went, all right, we need Sean Payton as our coach. We need to go to our rival Saints, who's been beating us throughout. We've been battling, but we also need Drew Brees, and we tried to get him 3 separate times. Like, and we didn't even battle against Drew Brees like y'all did with Tom Brady. Tom Brady literally made y'all a whipping boy for 20 years, bro.
That's another thing. Is like, okay, I understand. It's Tom Brady. It's the GOAT. It's 7 Super Bowls, whatever you want to say. I'm sorry. I never want to see him in a Dolphins uniform. Ever. He's literally Darth Vader, dude. Like, right. He's literally the enemy.
Yeah.
The most hated man that I've ever had to deal with in the NFL. I don't want him on my team. I want to be able to get to that point without having.
And that's what probably makes it even more frustrating is you lose a first and a third for trying to get Tom Brady.
Yes.
The guy, of all the guys.
Of all the guys, you try and go get Brady. And like I said, we have a quarterback. We drafted a kid with the 5th pick, bro. This is the shit I'm talking about when you're running a team. You get the 5th pick. You literally tank an entire season away so you can get a quarterback. You take a quarterback and you go, but he could be someone else. What are you doing as an organization?
At the time, it could be 42-year-old Tom Brady.
Yeah, it could be Tom Brady. Dude, now, fast forward to what this actually means. I have all the faith in the world in Tua. I know you like Tua. You're a Tua guy. I think he's going to have a great year. I think they've finally done the things. And this is all happening in what I feel like is the best time to be a Dolphins fan because we've gotten all these pieces. We've done all these things. I think we're going to have a really good season. But what it does, the backup plan was if Tua doesn't pan out, because this is the year. Clearly, this is the make or break year. He's going to have to show that he can be a starting quarterback in the NFL, and I think he will, and there are a lot of people that do as well. But the backup plan was 2 first-round picks next year. If he doesn't pan out, you try and package the picks, package a group of picks, you move up, you get another quarterback. Right. Now we don't have that second first-round pick because it just got taken away from us. So now Tua has to play well because even if Tua plays okay, we're going to win we're not going to be a top 3 pick, even if Tua doesn't play well, because Tua over the last 2 years has a 16-9 record. So we're going to win football games.
It's like one of those situations with the Panthers. It's why I wanted to fire a head coach so bad is because we're a lame duck team. With a lame duck coach. And now he's going to try everything in his power to win 6 ball games, just be out of reach of Bryce Young and those top quarterbacks. So now we have $30 million worth of quarterbacks and
no answers.
Mm-hmm. We have a coach who nobody wanted to come be on his staff because everyone knew he was going to get fired. So we have a bunch of, it's so weird. NFL. I don't know. I'm looking forward to watching the NFL clearly because it's the NFL, but it's going to be interesting for the Panthers this year.
I saw Baker throw an absolute bomb today. I saw it floating around the internet, doing a nice little bomb.
The one thing I will look forward to, now don't get me wrong, I think Baker's going to be fine. He's going to be okay. He's not going to be great. He's not going to be bad either. I think it's a great time to kind of slide in because I think our offensive line is going to be this is one of the best Panthers offensive lines, I think, in a while. And that's not saying much because we've had literally terrible offensive line play. I think we're going to be decent. I think we're going to be top 14 offensive line in the league, which is way better than what we've been, which was 29th. So, but at the end of the day, it's also for your team too. If you don't block, then nothing matters. So we'll see. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But you lose the first and third pick. That's tough because that's like trading for I don't know,
a star.
Hopkins. Yeah,
you can. Yes, literally, that was
it's like trading
you can. Yes, literally, that was
like trading for Christian McCaffrey or something.
You literally, the Cardinals got DeAndre Hopkins for less than the punishment we just got for tampering.
Yeah.
This is what sent me over the edge. This is what pissed me off the most. You lose a first and a third, but yet you can literally cheat and the Super Bowl, the ultimate prize, what we all play the game for. The game is played to win the Super Bowl. Right. You can cheat in the Super Bowl and get less of a punishment than for tampering with two dudes that didn't even end up on your team.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I want you to think about that.
That's kind of the problem with the NFL. The people have problems with one guy gets suspended for this, one guy gets suspended for that. You know, like I got suspended for weed 25 games. This guy has 20-something sexual assault cases and gets 6 games. One team deflates footballs and nothing happens. One team gets, loses a first and third because they were trying to get a quarterback. I don't know. It is weird.
It's wild. But also, at the end of the day, like I'm mad about the punishment. I'm mad about how strict the punishment is. But I'm also not mad because this is what the Dolphins get. Mm-hmm. This is what our organization gets. This is what our ownership gets. Stop doing this dumb shit. Learn how to run an organization. Like, why are we constantly involved in scandals? Stop.
Just focus on playing football.
Please. It's insane. We're not a good team. We're not a good enough team to constantly be in the spotlight like this. Yeah. It's insane to me. So they deserve it. I wish we hadn't lost the first round pick. I really do. But stop fucking around. Maybe just be a football team.
Get your fucking act together.
Maybe don't try and get Tom Brady for 3 years. So also, I read on top of this, I don't know if you saw, but the whole thing was they were going to give Tom Brady part ownership of the team. So he was going to be a partial owner
of the Dolphins.
As if he didn't already own us enough. He was going to be part owner of the franchise and play quarterback. He was going to be owner player. There's one major issue with that. In order for him to do that, the 32 owners would have to vote on it. Mm-hmm. In what world are the owners going to be like, yeah, sure, that's cool.
Yeah, you can just be honest.
Yeah, you can just be owner and player. I go ahead and tell you right now, there's 3 teams that would vote no in a heartbeat, and that's the Bills, the Jets, and the Patriots would be like, No, we don't want him to be the quarterback for the Dolphins. And the Buccaneers would also vote no. That's 4 no's right off the rip. I don't know.
Bro, that's just the most. It's the most outlandish shit in the world.
We're trying to take the literal enemy and be like, you want to own part of the team? You want to come play for us? It's not like we'll win a Super Bowl with you. We'll just have Tom Brady, the literal enemy, just running the show and not winning shit. Oh my God, dude. All those times, bro, all those reports over the past 3 years, I'm just like, there's no way, dude. There's no way.
There's no way we're trying to get Tom Brady.
We're not trying to get Tom Brady. Are you kidding me? Remember the interview with Tom Brady where I think it was the barbershop interview, and he was talking about another team was trying to court him. And he was like, they're going to stick with that fucking guy, talk about Fitzpatrick. Right. And it's like, there was all those reports like, oh yeah, he might be talking about San Francisco with Jimmy Garoppolo, could be Miami. It was Miami, bro.
It was Miami.
It was us the whole time. It was us. I'm so just dumbfounded by this organization. It's nuts. It's
selling
nuts.
Your soul to the devil himself.
I couldn't have done it, AJ. I couldn't have done it. I couldn't have sat there on Sunday.
To be honest with you, Remy,
and watch Tom Brady be a Dolphin.
It's nothing on the scale of this for you, but it's what happened to me with LeBron James. It's what happened to me with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers.
Don't get me wrong. Close second. That was tough.
Dude, I've never recovered from it. And you know that. I've rooted against LeBron ever since he joined the Lakers. I hate the Lakers. I will never like the Lakers. I love LeBron James, but me and him, we're mutually split right now.
Yeah, it's it's an amicable separation between the two of you.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, I'm still all the way on board because I'll never leave his side, unlike you.
Well,
it is tough though. It's tough. I will admit, I've never been a Lakers fan. I I said there were two teams that I didn't want to end up on. I said the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Lakers, and he ended up on the damn Lakers. So I do have to root for him to win, but I hate that it has to be the Lakers that have to win basketball games. It's
we'll
crazy.
do some updates on some injuries. Looks like what we got going on over here. We have the Saints' first round tackle keeps getting kicked out of practice. So he got kicked out of practice today. He's started 3 fights apparently.
Good start.
So they kicked him out of practice, and he needs to kind of zone in on his priorities. The Cowboys got Barr. They signed Anthony Barr on a 1-year deal. So that was cool. Good for them. Let's see here. Oh, bad news for the Broncos. One of their young up-and-coming star wide receivers, Tim Patrick, suffered a torn ACL in his right knee. He made a pretty sick catch, and he spun and kind of landed on it weird and tore his knee. So they're going to have to rely a lot on Cortland Sutton and old buddy from Alabama.
I will say, if there is a position the Broncos should be loaded down at, it is the wide receiver position, because Sutton, Judy, they also used a pretty early pick on KJ Hamler. Mm-hmm. That should be a position they can get by with suffering an injury. But they did have another guy, I think a defensive end, also tore his ACL in the same practice. So that's brings me back to last year with the Ravens when they lost 3 running backs in a row. It was nuts.
The Buccaneers, they have their center and tackle. Both of them got carted off the field. Big time players.
So the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have to replace their entire interior offensive line.
Noah Fant's not on the team anymore, by the way.
Yeah, Noah Fant is a Seahawk.
He's a Seahawk now.
But Drew Lock.
But yeah, so the center, is he out for the year?
Ryan Jensen. They said several months. Hope he can come back towards the end of the year. But they lost one of their guards, retired, and one left in free agency. So now they're without their center, both starting guards from last year. So that's tough. I don't care who you are. You lose your entire interior of your offensive line. That's not just, you don't just patch that. You know
and
what I'm
saying? Wirfs, he's a tackle. He was one of the tackles, right?
Yeah, he's one of the
tackles. He got carted off.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got carted off.
I missed that.
Tristan Wirfs got carted off. So if Tom Brady don't have an offensive line, he's going to get destroyed. We'll see what happens with them.
That's not good.
That's not good. So we have tomorrow we have football. Tomorrow, Jacksonville plays the Las Vegas Raiders in the Hall of Fame game. You will see sometimes teams don't even play their starters at all. Maybe they'll get one possession each. It's just one of those things where you're glad to watch a ball get tossed around for a little bit. But since these are going to kick off football, we're going to kind of talk about these two teams before we move on to another sport. And the Jaguars. We'll start with the Jaguars. Remy, what do you think the Jaguars are going to do this year? A pretty bad year last year. They drafted Lawrence out of Clemson. He had a very poor year, but I think he's a really talented guy, and he could bounce back. It's just this is such a poor team. I just don't know where they're going to go.
I don't love it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think they might be a little bit better than they were last year. But this roster is still just not good. We talked about it in the free agency stuff. They spent a bunch of money on some players that are just not massive difference makers. The most famous one, of course, is the Christian Kirk deal. The amount of money that they gave. I am a known Christian Kirk hater. I'll say I'm a hater.
Right.
I've never thought he was that good. I mean, he's okay. He's a slot guy, maybe. He's not a number one, and he got hella number one money.
Hella number one money to be just a mediocre dude. And so they lose Chark, and they bring in Christian Kirk, Zay Jones, and Evan Ingram. And I'm just like, those are dudes that I would be like, all right, it's the end of training camp. Those are backups.
We need a body. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think Evan Ingram, great tight end 2. I think Christian Kirk would be a great wide receiver 4.
Yeah.
Or 3. You know, like maybe a slot guy.
3. Yeah, I'd give him a wide receiver 3. They paid him a ton of money. He started this whole wide receiver thing.
Like, who do you think's better, Remy? Christian Kirk or Chenault Jr.? I would say Chenault.
I think Chenault's more of a weapon, but he was so lost in it last year, dude. Like, if you go look at what he put up last year, he just wasn't the same dude. Now, I don't know how much of that is because Urban Meyer was just awful at his job, but I've always looked at Chenault. I think Chenault's more of just a gadget guy. Like, right. I mean, he has value in that you can run him on end rounds, you can run jet sweeps, you can catch some passes.
They did get Brandon Scherf.
That's a big one. I like the Scherf.
And they re-signed Cam Robinson.
Cam Robinson. I think the defense has some young pieces that could develop into something. I just still don't think this is a good team. I mean, they get ETN back off the injury, but they don't have James Robinson for probably the first couple of games of the year.
Not a good team at all.
I don't think it's a great. I'm
looking at the depth chart right now.
Yeah,
and it's just not great.
I got it pulled up too, and it's just like I don't see where this team is.
They spent big money on Shaquille Griffin, like just a lot of guys that are guys, but they want them to be studs. And
I mean, I'm thinking at the best that's a 5-6 win team.
Yeah, that's if everything clicks.
Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence has to take a massive step forward. And I just don't think they gave him the right pieces to do that. Like, I'm sorry. Christian Kirk's not a wide receiver 1, dude. He's not. Now,
so as we get closer,
ball out.
As we get closer, of course, we're going to break down everyone's schedules, and we're going to do it'll probably be like a long 3-hour live or something, whatever we decide to do. Or we'll start breaking down divisions. So we really need to probably start concentrating on that next week. We'll take a division. We'll break down their roster. We'll break down their schedule. We'll give you kind of what we think they're going to end up being. Because there's not how many weeks before the season? A month? A little over a month.
September 11th is the first. A
little over a month.
So about 5 weeks away.
So
5 weeks away.
We'll talk about the Raiders real quick and just kind of looking at what do you think they got going on. It's a make or break year for Josh Jacobs. He's been a guy that's been kind of stayed injury prone a lot. They've clearly upgraded the wide receiver position by getting Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Alex Leatherwood being the starting right tackle. He's kind of bad.
I don't think they like it, but they took him in the first round.
But he was playing guard last year.
Yeah, because he was so bad at tackle. They moved him to guard.
They put him back. Dude, it's one of those things where I'm looking at it. When your offensive line, you don't have dudes on it. It's going to be tough. But I like Derek Carr. I think he's a great player.
Hunter Renfrow had a hell of a season last year. Sneaky. Yeah,
his production will take a dip. He's going to be a chain mover. He's going to still have some production. But having a bona fide Devontae Adams on this team was what they were definitely missing. We'll see about Darren Waller and his health going in.
Get him.
Everyone get Apollo greeting Camille at the door.
So I look at this team. I think they're a good team. We've talked about what this division is going to be this year. Yeah. This division is going to be nuts. This division is going to be wild. But I can't help but look at this team and think, man, this might be the 4th best team.
Get Apollo in the crate now.
It's a sad dog in us.
Sad dog is.
They might be the 4th. They might be the odd man out in this division. And the odd man out in this division might win 9 or 10 games. But
I know. My thing is I love Derek Carr and Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know about that offensive line. We'll see about the run game. This team could be a team, dude, that goes and gets a wild card and is the second best team in their division. This team also could, be 500 team and be the 4th best team in the division. So I like the defense. I like some of their pieces. I like the front 7.
They added Chandler Jones to go with Max Crosby. That's
Crosby is a dog. Max Crosby's one of my favorite football players in the league. And, you know, I'm kind of a low-key Raider fan. So, to the point where it doesn't affect me if they win or lose and nothing like that, but it's cool to see them win. I think it's cool if the Raiders win.
That division's going to be wide open, though. I mean, it's going to be wide open between those 4 teams. So, someone's got to come in last place in that division. I think you got 3 playoff teams in that division, though. I really do. I think you got 3
I want it to not be a flop. Remember how we had – what division was it? Was it the Browns division last year where we're like, dude, this division would be good.
And it kind of
flopped a little bit.
Yep. Steelers, Bengals. We said we were unanimous. The Bengals were going to come in last.
I think it's definitely going to be Kansas City. I think you got to look at Denver's defense, dude. And their defense is good. They upgraded dramatically at the quarterback position. I think Denver's probably the second best team in this division. And then it's a battle between Vegas and the Chargers for the 3rd spot.
Yeah. And you got to think how good the Chargers offense has been, the playmakers they have on defense.
Yeah.
The Chargers,
but they're still the Chargers. And
that's where they don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Right.
But what I'm intrigued with in this division is going to be how Kansas City looks. And I'm not saying, because Miami got Tyreek Hill or whatever. But the offense is clearly going to be different.
I think the gap was like Kansas City and then everybody else. And now it's like Kansas City and everybody else. You know what I'm saying? They can't – I think they're going to slide down a win or two, and the rest of the division picks up a win or two. So that gap becomes like that.
I'm interested because no matter what you think, the offense is going to look different because you lose the most unique dude in the NFL. There's no other Tyreek Hill comparison in the league. Like, you can't, there may be better guys. You can say Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp are better dudes, but they can't do the same things Tyreek Hill can do, which is spread apart a defense like no other with that speed. So I'm intrigued into seeing what Kansas City's offense is going to look like. I have this odd feeling that Travis Kelce might catch 200 passes this year. Just because, someone's got to catch the ball. So I'm interested in that. Now, real quick, AJ, I love you. I love the engagement here. We got AJ just throwing up a bunch of stuff in here. AJ, who is the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 6? I want to know what AJ.
Who do you think starting quarterback Week 1?
Trubisky.
I think it's Mason Rudolph.
The report I saw was that Trubisky has been taking all the ones.
Has he?
Yeah, that's the report I originally saw. Now, that was a couple days ago. Who knows if anything's changed? I think Trubisky's the starting quarterback Week 1. That's why I want to know who's the starting quarterback Week 6. Are you good enough? Is your team good
Sam
enough
Darnold.
What?
In what
world is Sam Darnold starting over?
We'll give him to you for free. We'll pay his contract. You take him.
But I'm intrigued. AJ being a big Steelers fan as he is, are the Steelers good enough to win Mitchell Trubisky? Are they going to win enough games through the first 5 weeks of the season that he's still the starting quarterback, or are they moving on to Kenny Pickett by the 6th game of the season? I'm interested. I want to know what a Steelers fan has to say.
I think
Kenny Pickett. I just know how today's NFL is. I think Kenny Pickett's going to be running the show before the halfway mark.
I'll pass on Sam. He said,
"Yeah, pass on Sam." I think
the
Sam
whole league
Darnold would
pass
on Sam at this point.
Yeah.
Boy, has he been just awful. When you said he's running with the fours, bro.
He's bad. He sucks. So we're gonna slide into some baseball here before we get into our top 5. Before we get out of here,
deep dive into the top 5, baby. I'm excited.
Deep dive into the top 5. We'll start by saying Vince Scully passing away. Voice of baseball,
dude.
He's called some crazy things over the years.
We lost Bill Russell and Vin Scully within 3 days of each other.
Dude, it's crazy.
Tough couple days to be a sports fan.
But Yesterday was the deadline, and I'm not going to break down all these moves because I know a lot of y'all don't watch baseball, so it'd be pointless to. But the big one, of course, is Juan Soto got traded to the Padres along with Bell. The Padres out here making moves. They did trade away a lot, so it's not like, to be honest with you, it was a very even trade.
Sometimes you just got to speak it into existence, my guy.
Did you say Padres?
Did I say the Padres? Because I 100% did say the Padres. I just knew it in my bones. Dude was going to be in San Diego when it was all said and done. Now he's a Padre. And now they have the two most electrifying 23-year-olds in baseball.
So I don't know if he'll end up resigning there. I think that they might just get him for a couple of years, and that's that. But they did sell their farm to get him, but you got to go for it. And I respect it. I love it. I am glad he's a Padre, if I'm honest with you. He's out of my division. I wish he would have went to the AL, but nobody in the AL was really in for him anyway. I'm glad he didn't become a Dodger.
He's not a Dodger. He's
not a Dodger.
He's not a Dodger.
I will 100% appreciate that too. I wish we could have got him just somehow, some way. Him playing with his best friend, Ronald Acuna.
Of course you do. Who didn't, honestly?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, the Padres have been bad for a long time, so we'll see. We'll see. It's still, batting and hitting is clearly a thing. It's all about a couple things in the playoffs. It's all about getting hot, and it's all about pitching. It's all about bullpens. Braves made a couple moves, nothing crazy. We did bring in Iglesias at the deadline, literally at the deadline. Big time power arm. He's the Angels just continue to do Angel things. They literally locked him up in the summer to a 4-year deal. They finally got their closer and they traded him to the Braves. So the Braves have, made and we're about to get a couple guys that's coming back off injury. The Braves bullpen is nutty. They have probably the best bullpen in baseball. And so that's great. We got Grossman, who is he's kind of a platoon guy. What's up, Matt? What's going on, Mr. Positive Vibes? Yeah, we'll talk about the Orioles here in a second. The Orioles actually being in 3 back out of playoffs blew their team up a little bit. They traded away some bullpen arms. They traded away Trey Mancini, who hit a home run today in his debut. We just been talking. We've been talking all kind of shit. But we're talking some baseball now. Also, the Brewers trading away their closer for the Padres closer.
Weird.
Very weird situation. Hader goes one way, Rogers go the other way. Very strange situation. I definitely think the Brewers got worse with that trade. I mean, we're talking Hader, one of the best closers in the past forever.
Mm-hmm. It was weird for me as a Brewers guy.
Right.
I mean, they're not a team loaded with stars, but what they did have was one of the best closers in baseball, and they traded him away. I did see that they have a guy I think he's been their setup guy that they think is going to be the closer because he's had a really good year. So I think he's going to jump in. And then the closer they got back from the Padres will be the setup guy. So, but the Brewers do that weird thing. They do that weird, and it's not even weird anymore. It's like the new norm is they do the pitcher by committee thing where you bring in a pitcher for 1 or 2 innings and that's all they pitch. They were like the originators of that. So, just, I guess, adding more depth in arms versus just having the one lockdown guy at the end.
Mm-hmm.
But Hader had struggled a little bit in the past month. He had a pretty bad, I would say very bad month of July. I think his ERA was like 12 in the month of July. So pretty bad there. But it's still a guy who's been a dominant closer for them for a long time. It was a weird trade. We'll see. As the Brewers every year, they're good. They're just never good enough to get all the way. So it's tough out here.
Joey Gallo goes to the Dodgers. Red Sox did this weird thing where they sold and bought. It was very weird. Seattle made the big move. big move with Luis Castillo. So they're going for it. They actually beat the shit out of the Yankees today, which is awesome. The Mets didn't really do nothing too great.
The Mets, however, had probably the best trade deadline because they get back Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. So they didn't have to trade for anyone. They just got back 2 aces.
Yep. And they keep winning, so that's good for them. The Minnesota Twins, they kind of went for it. They got Male from the Reds. They got a closer in Jorge Lopez, quality reliever in Michael Fulmer. So they did good. The Cardinals got 2 pitchers, Jose Quintana and Jordan Montgomery, South Carolina alum.
Why did the Yankees trade Montgomery?
So very strange with Yankees trading Montgomery. Everyone, when the news hit the Yankees were trading him, everyone was figuring that they were getting another starting pitcher. So a lot of the beat writers for the Yankees is really upset about it. They don't understand it at all. A lot of their pitchers, they put Severino on a 60-day IL, and he's pissed about it because he thought he was pitching in 3 weeks. He's already throwing. He thought he was coming back. They put him on a 60-day thinking that you're going to go get a starter. Instead, you don't get a starter at the deadline. You trade him away for a guy who has plantar fasciitis in his foot and can't play till October. He's in a boot. I don't know. Very strange. It's like the Yankees did the good thing getting Montas, and then bad thing with trading away a guy who needs to eat innings because their staff is on inning limits all across the board. So they're going to have to rock German or whatever his name is. He's ass. They're going to have to play him a lot. I don't know. The Yankees are still a great team. It's just very, very weird trading Jordan Montgomery away. Didn't understand that. Even probably the biggest, the scratch to the head was the Chicago Cubs. They did not make a trade away. They traded away some bullpen guys. They kept Wilson Contreras. They kept Ian Happ. Ian Happ's going to get traded in the offseason for probably less. No one wanted Wilson Contreras. But they said their asking price was too high. Plus, they don't trust his defense. Plus, he would have to gel with the pitching staff. So they were put off by that. They're not going to re-sign him. He's going to go somewhere else. Very awkward thing there. Some teams didn't do anything. The Rockies didn't literally make a trade at all. Also, Cleveland didn't do anything.
I like the Blue Jays picking up Whit Merrifield.
So the Blue Jays needed a starting pitcher.
Yeah, but I like Merrifield.
Blue Jays need a starting pitcher more than anything. But they did get Whit Merrifield, who is currently not vaccinated, who has to get vaccinated to get in the country.
It was the most interesting thing I could think of is the fact that a team in Canada traded for an unvaccinated player. And I'm just like, go what?
Mr. Positive Vibes wants to know, can the Browns finish well without Watson? First 6 games of Chargers Jets, no, they cannot. They're not going to be great without him, for sure.
They're running, listen, as a Miami Dolphins fan, those first 6 games, you're running old Jacoby Burnt Brisket out there. He ain't that good. After what I watched last year, Jacoby Brissett ain't very good. Chargers are an L. The Jets are probably a win because the Jets are very bad. The Steelers are going to probably be an L. The Patriots probably an L. The Falcons might be a W. The Falcons are going to be very
Tampa
bad.
L.
Tampa's an L. So
2-4.
2.
If you go 3-3,
if you go 3-3, you got a chance. If you go 2-4 in the AFC this year, you're going to need Watson to come in and do some absolute work.
Yeah.
And we'll see. I mean, the Browns defense is going to be stellar. Their run game is going to be stellar. The whole, I like Amari Cooper, but is he truly a 1 still in today's NFL? I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think the Browns are a loaded team talent-wise, but having to go with Jacoby Brissett for 6 games is going to be tough.
So, I got a question, Remy, and I was thinking about this. So, we're kind of diving deep into the top 5 lists. I was also interested in maybe doing maybe where we draft So we do a snake draft.
Oh, we go back and forth.
And say I would draft a Timberwolves jersey. You couldn't take that one now. And we would put my 5 up against your 5, and we would let like the chat decide. I don't know.
Sounds like you want to lose some more.
That's just interesting. It's like a Mount Rushmore thing of where we would put where we could do that.
We could definitely do something like that
in the future.
I wouldn't be opposed to something like that.
Okay, but today we're just going to do our top 5. So we are going to do the deep dive into the top 5. We'll see. We'll kind of get some feedback on that. I just think it would be cool to kind of see who, and it's all said and done, who has the better top 5 list. But since it was my top 5, it was my idea, I'm going to let you start us off. So before we start, I will let everybody know this week it's deep dive in the top 5. We're going to give our top 5. We're going to give 3 honorable mentions like we did last week.
Thank you, Matt, for bringing up the Pistons switching their jerseys in last week's live, which sent the whole chat to a frenzy. About NBA jerseys.
So if you guys want to post your 5, I'll put them up on the screen as you click them in. You can post your 5 now as we go along, and we'll kind of talk about it along. But this is top 5 NBA jerseys of all time.
So, do you want me to name my 3 honorable mentions first before I jump into my actual top 5?
No, we're gonna go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay,
and then honorable mentions.
Okay, my number 5 jersey. This was tough.
Can you write this down? I don't have any piece of paper. I want to be able to. I want to post it.
Hold on. I can. Yeah, look at here. Handy dandy. Yeah, I definitely want to post these because we need the comments. Because next week it will be a fan chosen deep dive into our top 5.
So okay, so are you gonna post up like a poll or like something where they get to vote? Will be top 5.
I mean, we could. I mean, if like whichever one gets the most likes or whatever.
Because we need to know a little ahead of time so we could set this up.
Well, I mean, I we can do like whichever one gets the most likes.
We could just do a straw poll.
Or do a straw poll or something like that. Or me and you can just pick one. Route you want to go there. So let's do this. I've got a notepad. I've already got mine. Like
Jacob said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 honorable mention.
Or 5, 4, 3, 2 honorable mentions and then 1.
Okay, sure.
I think we'll have some similarities though, because I think some of these are just no-brainers. But anyway, I've already got mine typed up on my phone, so I'm going to write yours down, and then I'll find a way to like classy it up and post it online.
Okay.
So my number 5 NBA jersey of all time. This was tough, man. I had to really go in on this one.
Okay.
My number 5 NBA jersey is the Chicago Bulls black jersey with the red pinstripes.
Very good one.
In particular, the black with the red pinstripe jersey, that Chicago Bulls jersey is nasty. Now, I want to preface before we get too deep into this. I chose my top 5 that I thought looked the coolest. I'm not going iconic
nostalgia.
Jerseys. Yeah. I'm not doing that. I'm going, these are my top 5 coolest looking NBA jerseys of all time.
So I'm gonna
number 5.
I'm gonna ravel your pinstripes with the Orlando Magic 1989 to 98 pinstripes.
So you're going number 5 Orlando Magic pinstripes.
Yep, with the star of the Magic and everything.
Okay.
It's back on me again. Are we doing Snake?
We can.
Okay, so my number 4 is this one's tough. My number 4.
Oh, you didn't do your homework. You're sitting there scrolling, and it's gonna come back to bite you in the ass.
No, I have some. Is the Phoenix Suns 92 to 2000 with the giant sun with the ball and the sun on it? I like that one. That's my number 4.
Phoenix Suns with the sun going across the chest. It is a sick jersey.
Yep.
My number 4 NBA jersey of all time is the Utah Jazz Mountain jerseys.
Number 4.
The old Karl Malone, John Stockton, mountains across the chest. Number 4 jersey of all time. Absolutely amazing jersey. And it dominates what they wear right now.
Oh, for sure. Definitely dominates it. So that's your number 4.
That's my number 4 is the Utah Jazz Mountain jerseys.
Okay, so now it's back to you, number 3.
My number 3 jersey is the Vancouver Grizzlies jersey with the bear palming the basketball. Vancouver Grizzlies with the bedrock writing. Disgustingly awesome jersey. Amazing jersey.
So that's your
you got a grizzly bear palming a basketball.
That's your number 3, right?
My number 3, Vancouver Grizzlies, old Sharif Abdur-Rahim.
My number 3 is also the Vancouver Grizzly jersey. So
okay, so we do have a similarity.
Yeah.
Okay. So Vancouver Grizzlies, number 3 for you.
Kings did have some sick jerseys, that's for sure. Damn, there's some that I'm having to cut out.
It's tough. It's hard, bro. I sat here for
so my number 2 is the Jazz Purple Mountains.
You're going with the Utah Jazz.
Jazz Purple Mountains.
In particular, the purple? Yeah. I thought the whites were clean too.
I
went with both. Okay. So in particular, Utah Purple Mountain jerseys. Okay. So that takes me to my number 2 NBA jersey of all time, which was one that has already graced your list, was the Orlando Magic pinstripe jerseys. Any of them really. The whites were fresh. The blacks ones were fresh. The blues were good. I'm more on the black and white ones.
Yeah.
They were amazing jerseys. I would wear that to this day. I don't understand how people go, let's not wear those. You should wear those every game. Those are the best jerseys.
For a lot of these, the NBA teams are dumb. So
they're stupid. Every jersey's plain as hell.
So now give me one of your honorable mentions.
All right. My first honorable mention is the Houston Rockets pinstripe jersey with the rocket flying across the chest.
Those jerseys are so sick.
Love those jerseys. I'm a pinstripe guy. Basketball.
Me too. I love pinstripes too.
Love them. The Houston Rocket.
My honorable mention is the OG Hornets with the colored pinstripes on them, with Muggsy Bogues and those guys.
Sick jersey. Didn't make my list, but I stared at it for a solid 5 minutes.
All right. And so I'm gonna go back to mine.
Go to your next honorable mention.
My next honorable mention is the Detroit Pistons with the tubes underneath the Pistons. With the horse.
Piston. Yep. Yeah. The horse with the piston. And they're bringing them back. It's the whole reason this whole topic came up. They're going to be wearing those next year. I remember growing up, and Grant Hill's one of the best players in the NBA. One of the best players in the NBA was Grant Hill, and they used to rock those jerseys. Iconic look. So let me go ahead. I'm gonna change my order up in my honorable mentions because who cares? But that also was in my honorable mentions. Is that jersey you're talking about? That teal with the horse with the the pipes running underneath it. Sick jersey. Glad to see those back. So much better than what they're wearing now.
Mm-hmm. And what about your other one?
Now,
what about your other? No, what about your
my
other
next honorable mention? My next honorable mention. I went. So a lot of these are throwbacks. You know, a lot of the ones I've said so far, pretty much everyone I've said so far is a throwback. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna hit you with one that's not a throwback.
Okay.
Was worn very recently, but is a fire jersey. The original Miami Vice jerseys that the Miami Heat rocked.
Those were
sick. Now they've gotten a little out of hand with them here the last couple of years. They've kind of gone down some. The original Miami Vice jerseys were fire.
I agree with that.
Fire.
I'm trying to get the exact jersey that I like. Yeah. All right. So this one's tough. This honorable mention's tough because I want to include so many of them.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with the Sonics, the Supersonics,
Seattle Supersonics
with the Sonics on it, with the circle around it, with the basketball. Seattle Supersonics. Love the jerseys, love the green and all that. To be honest with you, they need to be a basketball team out there. They need to bring the Seattle Sonics back.
It's coming.
They got to bring them back.
It's got to be, bro. It's coming. So your honorable mentions, because I didn't write them down, Sonics, Pistons, and what was your other one?
Charlotte.
Hornets. Got it. All right.
Now, I wanted to say the Yellow Hawks, but I didn't. So
I can't help but notice there is one jersey
that we're missing
from both of our lists that I have a weird feeling we both think is the best jersey of all time.
I mean, it's not even close.
It's not.
It's not even close.
Really not.
The Toronto Raptors Dino uniforms.
The Toronto Raptors Raptor jersey, any variation.
I mean, they're all sick. All the
insane.
colors. The white, the purple, all of them.
Why are we not rocking that?
Bro, I don't understand how Toronto has such a cool ass mascot and they don't rock the Raptors.
They don't do anything with him. Dude, I'm just
all you have to go look at the purple Vince Carter Raptor jerseys. Those jerseys are so fucking cool.
And it's not even just the Raptor. It's the lettering. It's the border around the name.
The Raptor takes up this much of the jersey, like giant Raptor.
That jersey is so good.
Yeah.
So yes, we both have the same number one jersey on our list. God, like I said, man, most of these teams rock the most boring, plain Jane shit now. Like almost every one of them, they rock just plain ass, one color with the word in the chest. That's it. Let's go back to mascot basketball jerseys.
Dude, go back to the giant, weird purple buck on the green.
Yes. Did we lose me or Terry? Terry's gone. We lost Terry. It wasn't me for once. It wasn't me. Let's go.
All right.
Oh, he's back. He's back. Dude, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
We're back.
99.9% of the time, it's me that loses internet.
Terry?
We thought
back up, Terry.
Now I will say, speaking of the Milwaukee Bucks, it's still not as good as the old Ray Allen jersey.
Yep.
But they did unveil a new jersey with kind of a cool, interesting look to it. Instead of it having just like the normal stripe down the side, it's like the deer antlers are the stripes coming up the jersey.
That's pretty cool.
Which is cool. It's still not the full deer logo with the half and half color scheme. Dude, you killed it. I thought you were gone. I thought I was gone, actually.
Apparently, the solar waves from the sun is causing internet outages worldwide. I don't know if you heard about that.
Or just in Arizona.
But you were out yesterday.
Yes, I was all day. Just
John Moran MVP. Same goes for his jersey and then throwbacks. Deer horns. RA. So this was fun. This was interesting.
Blast.
We kind of talked a little bit about everything once again. Football's back tomorrow. Also, shout out to, I don't know, a lot of you guys probably don't watch it. Tottenham play Saturday. Soccer's coming back. We got hit up a couple weeks ago by the guys from Our League podcast. If you don't know who they are, look them up. Our League podcast on Spotify and stuff. They are two cool ass dudes from London, and they want us to come on their podcast again and kind of talk about NFL and kind of how we did it last year.
Yeah,
where we did the giant preview. I think we're kind of their go-to for everything USA sports. AJ's a Chelsea fan. Get the fuck out of here, AJ. Nobody cares about you. I'm a Tottenham fan. Tottenham are going to do great things this year. I would love to, and I'm thinking about doing something. Adam. So I don't know. You all know Adam. Me and him we talked a little bit about maybe doing some soccer stuff. AI 76ers Air jersey was fire for sure. So we might might do something like that for maybe find a whole new genre of sports fans out there that can tune in. Juventus on top. But yeah, so kind of look out for that kind of stuff. But I'm clearly very excited. Sports are, it's about to be the best time of year. We have football right around the corner. We have fall coming up in September. Of course, one of the greatest people of all time was born in September. That's your boy. I'm going to be Rembreezy's age, which I don't want to say out loud.
It's a prime age. Look what it brings you. You know what I'm saying?
I got some janky little weird facial hair going on.
When you turn 33,
Remy, you're not supposed to say my age. You're not supposed to say it out loud. 23. My birthday's September 22nd, of course. Oh yeah.
Uh-oh.
I'm telling you, September's a goat.
Wait a minute, Tyler. Do we have an official name yet? Have we picked a name, or is that like a surprise for everybody still? Can we post it here on the internet for the world to see?
Yeah, what's going to be?
Now that we know Remy is not going to be the name, unfortunately.
Dang.
Yeah, dude, I got eliminated, dude.
September 20 is the due date. Wow, goated.
A rut-row.
Goated.
Jackson
there you
Preston
go.
DeRosa.
Okay. That's dope. That's a cool ass name.
It's not the worst name. It's no Remy, but
September baby, so he's going to be legit. But yeah, so Adam's also born in September. He was born September 16th.
Bunch of lambs.
So yeah, a bunch of cool ass dudes out here.
Yeah,
but
whatever, dude.
But I appreciate everybody stopping in, hanging out.
Let's do this. I'm gonna post our top 5 NBA jerseys of all time. I'll try and find a way to make it look nice. If not, I'll just post it as a list. What I want to do, I'm going to put it on I'm going to post it on
Facebook
and Twitter. And what I want to do is on the comments, everyone go in and comment what you would like the next top 5 to be. And then just whichever one gets the most likes or
it can be sports related. It don't have to be sports related.
It doesn't have to be sports related, and it doesn't have to be a top 5 best. We talked about this last week. It could be top 5 worst or something.
Right.
It's just give us a top 5 list.
It's deep dive into top 5.
In the top 5, and it doesn't have top 5 worst, top 5 best.
It's something that we might actually break down and just start releasing little 10-minute videos. Not going live with it, just recording it and then uploading it, and just to have something on the YouTubes, and just we can kind of start our own
top 5 baby names, whatever you're feeling. Just throw it out there.
We appreciate each and every one of you guys. We have football coming back tomorrow. We have English football coming back in the weekend. We have baseball, of course, is here in full swing. That's kind of coming down the stretch. A couple more months left before the playoffs. We have college football. We got a lot. This is when the podcast really starts to get ramped up. We also have the dumbass Dolphins on Remy's forehead right there. Look at that swimming fin. He talked about them again. So if any of y'all missed the podcast earlier, make sure you go back after we stop and we end the broadcast. You can go back and rewatch it. We talked about Deshaun Watson. We talked about the Dolphins. We talked about NFL stuff. We talked about a lot of stuff. So definitely go back. We definitely appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you are not on YouTube and you're on Facebook, please go to YouTube, search Hard Pass Sports Podcast, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button,
hit the notify button. It'll literally
let
send
you know
a notification when we go live.
We're gonna stick with the Tuesday schedule. I know today's Wednesday, but we're gonna stick with the Tuesday schedule right now because if we go Tuesday, once everything starts ramping up, we're probably going to be looking at a Tuesday, Thursday, Tuesday, Friday schedule for when all the sports comes back. So that's why we're kind of shifting away from Wednesday. We're going to go into Tuesdays lives and everything. Tell everybody about us. We're back.
We're back.
We're back. We're
like, share, send it out, put it in the universe, let the people know this is where they need to be.
It's just we're not
what
nothing.
What else are you doing on a Tuesday night? Let's be real.
We're all hanging out. We're kicking it. We're shooting the shit. We're talking some sports. We're talking some
shit. You know what I'm saying? What else you gotta do? Nothing.
So yeah,
come here and throw your name up on the screen.
That we've had double-digit views. We only have 2 likes. Let's get that likes up, guys.
Ooh,
let's pump the likes up. We appreciate, like I said, we're nothing without you guys coming in here and hanging out, giving us live reactions, live comments, live questions, and everything. So we heart everybody for sure. You like that? You like that, Remy? Get my soccer celly on.
I really wish you hadn't done that.
There you go. But all right, well, that's it for me and this idiot named Rim Breezy and the Hard Pass crew. We will. What's up, babe?
Hi.
We will holler at you guys next week. Make sure you like, subscribe. Make sure you tell all your friends. Make sure you go to the post and tell us what you want to deep dive in the top 5 for next week. We will see y'all next Tuesday.
Peace.
We're gonna freeze again. The Mannequin Challenge. It's not ending.